All you have to do is separate the paladin from the toys, and they behave.
Yeah, just give it to the Kenku.
No, I'll never see it again.
Rough. So, stream confirmation has been achieved.
Yes, it has.
I stream.
Hello, stream. Hello, bees.
Browse, thank you for the subscription.
Oh, that's right. I got that thing too. Have a button.
More subscriptions. Make
More
that
things
bag
in
of
our
holding
bag of holding.
dance. No, they're leaving faster than they're arriving. That's not.
What?
That's not how. Bag of holding is having problems holding things. You'd think that would not be it. All right, so let's do a recap, shall we?
Yes, please.
So after being investigating graveyard and some knoll activity, as well as some higher demonic presence, you all found yourself in a sewer, because that is where all generic fantasy adventures end up. And
Excuse you, I'm not
were
generic.
pushed quite rapidly into combat. A lot of combat. So much combat.
There were many combats.
Like, oh my god, this is a lot of combat. You fought your way through Utiags and Knolls until you finally came across a somewhat familiar human who quickly became something altogether foreign,
Hey,
transforming into a large liquid metal abomination.
let's not forget the two most important enemies. Okay. The zombie that pushed us down the slide, and the bees.
And the bees.
The bees!
Bees.
How is
Yes.
Kronk doing?
Kronk is dead.
Again.
You killed Gronk.
Poor Kronk.
Kronk the Barbarian lived his best life. And then was swiftly murdered.
But he was in it to win it for a time.
He did down a player.
He fucked one of you up. We're giving the ghoul level. Alright!
You're welcome.
You all fought bravely, some of you going down, others
Aye.
dying.
Poor
Until
Paladin.
you finally managed to break the creature. And the spear that you had been seeking, as well as the man, appeared before you. The Margrave appeared from the spear itself, seemingly as the grip of evil released from the spear. He was able to pull himself to it and revived poor Paladin, before leaving you all to rest for the night and leaving Prudence the sun's decree. You've all spent the night in this cavern, this chamber. And for some of you, rest came easy, and for others, not so much. Rogue, you spent most of the night, though tired, you held yourself awake, just petting your mastiff. His fur is still charred, burnt in places. His barding and his saddle are destroyed. They'll need to be replaced.
Oh, it's okay, Paladin. We'll get you something nice. Something made of metal.
All your thoughts were, as you sat there, you almost lost the only thing you took from home, and you can't help but feel your mind wander to what you left behind, whether or not it's still there. Isoba, you, tired and battered fall asleep. And in your sleep, you see that figure once more. Gleaming tan skin, long feathered wings. He simply nods at you. An approving smile taking his face before it fades, and you slip into a dreamless, dark sleep.
I do not sleep, though. I can
You
have the
sleep.
vision. Oh, I sleep. Oh,
You
it's serious,
sleep.
serious business then.
You fucking sleep. You don't have to sleep. You sleep.
I choose to sleep.
Paladin, I hear him snoring, but his eyes is open. I think this is even more creepy than when he's just not sleeping.
Artoria, as you sit there, trying to pull your now pressed and pierced armor off, you can't help but remember the moments just before you forsook your old oaths and lost your wings, having fought a creature that so closely reminds you of the people that you fought to protect the village from. Prudence, as you sit there holding this, what appears to be a dragon scale, you can't stop going over your old teacher's notes over and over and over again. There has to be a connection now. This is too frequent an occurrence for there to not be a connection.
What color was it?
White.
White.
It is white and cold to the touch. You all eventually awaken. And you're exhausted. All of you are exhausted. In fact, you all have points of exhaustion. You have grueled through a fight. After a fight. After a fight. And you're all sore and you're all battered.
So, I still a little shook up. But I's not yet discovered, the concrete evidence linking, the, priest here to that halfling. Did anyone
The
else?
who?
The
I'm
half-
sorry, what?
The halflings, back in the inn. The
go
evidence
through-
must be around here somewhere.
We go through all of that. And you're still determined to bring this back to that poor halfling.
He's something sour about him.
I cannot believe you.
So, but this priest definitely seems to be associated with him, though.
You do remember that there is one piece of business you have left unattended in this dark and dank space.
Is it the ladder?
And now we wait for the players to remember what they said they were
Oh, we
going
want
to
to
do.
blow up that fucking statue, don't we?
There we go.
Yeah!
And
there's the other path.
Before you go ahead and detonate, that, should we find out what's going on up this ladder?
You really just slid into your accent there right at the beginning. Just want to say I loved that.
You're really
This is a real wrong
experimenting.
slide.
You started as Casey, just got to end in heroic.
Sometimes I forget.
You got there. You got there before you
It
really
was
started
very
saying
interesting.
words.
It was very interesting to see how those letters started to form into an accent.
Show. Crap, I'm not gonna lose it. Show, should we steady our exfil before we go ahead and detonate a statue?
Sure. Let us make sure the way is clear.
Which way are you going?
I think we're gonna check what's up that ladder.
Who wants to go check?
We have the perfect stealth bird.
We does?
I assume you're going to
Do
send
it,
wind up the
yeah.
ladder.
Yes, I am sending wind up the ladder.
There
and
is
I
a
am proceeding
closed
through their sight.
hatch at the top.
Great. Stop perceiving. We'll go over, climb up the ladder.
Okay. You,
How far?
push-
How? Oh, sorry. How far up is the ladder?
It's about 30 feet.
Yeah, fuck it, mage hand. I'm using that to open up the ladder.
You open up and you see the door swings open, and you can see where the door is. Above it is slats of wood and some fabric.
Okay.
And there's a cat up there.
You hear a cat. You're not sure where.
Oh, Paladin,
Kill it.
calm down.
Yeah. Okay. I will send wind up there, cat or not, because that cat's going to be in for a vicious surprise. To that
You fly wind up, it flutters out from under, and it's a bed. And wind peers around, and you're in that same bedroom that you were in the other night
Define same bedroom that I was in the other
of
night.
the priest.
Oh, you filthy son of a!
Oh, you were laying on top of the trapdoor that whole time. Oh.
Yeah, cause I went underneath of the bed.
Oh, rough.
Oh.
As you look at the
That's
trapdoor,
amazing.
there is a very small curve into it where someone could get their fingers in and pull it up. Other than that, if you were to close it, it would look perfectly like the floor.
Oh, you son of a!
Oh. What you
Didn't you have me
seeing
roll
up there?
perception while I was under the bed?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it. Damn it.
To be fair, you looking at it through Wynn's eyes, and you're like, oh, that's really good work.
Yeah. And,
But you
Just
you
to
know where you are. You're in the church.
yeah. Which means I know my way out of there,
You know your way out of there.
because that's ground floor. And there's a window that should be off to the left of the bed, I believe.
Right. So it'd be bed. It'd be doorway entrance with the bed on the left-hand side, and then the window to the right, with the desk between the two.
Right. Gonna just have Wynn perch up and stop perceiving through him for a moment.
Okay.
Speaking in Elvish, the way is clear. It's the priest's bedroom.
Repeating in common.
I know how to get out of here from here.
Responding in Elven, lead the way. And
You want to check the other path?
oh, right. Wait, that's the way wrong accent.
Oh, right. Everyone turns and looks at Isoba.
Just that accent shift.
Is you feeling okay? Recently possessed?
No, I got a number.
You
I
get
got a
one
number
point of lay on
bumps.
hands, like, must have messed up your throat.
I got the number of bumps on the head.
Is fair.
And by bumps, he means fireballs.
Yep.
Yes. She'll back to the statue and the branch in the passage, now that we know our escape is assured.
Would not recommend blowing up the statue here. Would draw attention.
Oh, I thought that was a highly desired effect.
You can also see that most of the ceiling here, except for that one hatch, most of the ceiling is stonework, and then like flooring above it. It looks like wherever this is, it's made to be isolated.
Yeah, but this is also a giant echo chamber.
Yes, but there were just several fairly loud occurrences a few hours ago. One might say there was a few fireballs, several gunshots.
Yeah, how the fuck did we not draw attention?
If there was any attention to be drawn, we would have by now. I don't think that's a worry anymore.
Yeah, he did turn into a 8-foot tall, split open monster and growl at us. So likely, oh no.
Did we stick him with the needle?
Pretty sure we did. Somebody declared it, I know that much.
Is
Yes.
that even a question?
Yes, I believe Prudence handled the needling.
I think what I did was Prudence was going to, and then you found the scale. So I'm not sure if anyone actually stabbed him with a needle.
Well, there's still a body there, right?
Yeah,
There's a puddle,
I
and,
think.
and a torso and a head.
Good
Ooh.
enough.
Stab the torso?
And to puddles.
Stab torso, that is human.
Excellent.
You don't get anything from it.
That is not entirely correct. I can make.
The essence extractor cannot pull essence out of it. That's what I'm saying.
Aw.
Stab the head.
Mm,
Do you stab the puddle?
Didn't you say, like, we can't stab puddles once upon a time?
No, you can stab puddles because you stabbed the split wolf,
That's
and
true.
they turn into
Yeah,
puddles.
but they were still alive, though. technically.
They're still alive with their puddles. You can essence extract puddles.
Okay, so I will stab the puddle.
If things turn into puddles, because it's not really so much like a needle drawing blood as it is just pushing a magical item in to suck essence out of something.
Suck. Sorry.
It's the big suck.
So, as I
You-
was not here, what is this essence of?
You get a vial of this. It almost looks like a DNA strand, and one side is red, and the other side is silver, just like mercury.
Interesting.
I'm sorry, do we have one
Essence.
vial of fucking T-virus?
Essence of DNA.
You have write down essence of demonic metal.
Demonic metal.
That sounds fun.
If you inject it into someone, you can make the tyrant.
I'd rather
Excellent.
not.
What if you inject it into metal? Can you make a demon blade?
Yo, I got a homebrew for Demon Blade.
We're not in a place to experiment just yet.
We just got to get back to the Dwarven City.
Yes, and
We
then
have
we
like
can
30
inject it.
things-
Prudence-
We have 30
Prudence
things on
just-
our to-do list before that.
Prudence just turns to a party member and he goes, "I want to see if I can make Nemesis." Stab.
and then we can inject it into the dwarves, and it'll be funny. So, was there another path we wish to do, or is we exiting?
There is another path you guys can attempt.
And he reloads and mounts up, and he's like, "Oh, poor paladins.
Paladin is not happy about being a mount right now.
Sorry, buddy. Buck up, boyo."
Question for you.
Answer, possibly.
Paladin is technically full health, yes?
Technically.
So if I shoved a potion of healing in his gullet, he wouldn't end up looking any better.
Most of what is and it's across a bunch of you. Artoria has this too. While your health is fine, you've got some nasty burns and scrapes and cuts and bruises and scars. And Paladin is missing large chunks of hair.
It's okay. You
And
still
skin.
very handsome to me. I'm sure
That may or may not heal over time.
I'm sure that the ladies will like the war torn look. Authentic battle damage.
And like I said in the Discord, anyone who had non-magic armor or clothing on for these last fights probably wants to consider getting new stuff.
Oh, so the Kenku's okay.
Ganku's fine because your magic armor's harder to break.
I'm not
Artoria,
wearing
your
the
armor
magic armor.
My armor's fucked.
Mine
And we learned what
too.
happened last time I didn't wear armor, so
Oh.
that needs to be a priority.
Well, should you all like, is it very probable that the deed to this particular demons is unlisted. So if we has a desire for a secret dwelling, we could keep this place on the down low.
I'm sorry, is this not directly beneath an active church?
I was about. The Kenku was like, yeah, this is right below a church. You want to buy an entire temple.
Oh no, I was saying we just close that door and don't open it again.
You
Unless-
also remember that the Margrave, the person that runs the town, appeared in here and thus knows about it.
I sure they wasn't paying attention to the tax liabilities.
It's like 90% of their jobs to pay.
Are you attempting more of this goblin math?
I was attempting it, but it seems to have failed me. Shall we carry on?
This is why there's no division in Goblin math.
Yes, we just multiply constantly.
And then everyone goes back to the flamingo reference, and it all makes sense.
Except here's the thing: there is division in Goblin math.
No, people divide goblins. That's the
And goblins divide people too, though.
Exactly.
Fair. They
No, they
certainly
subtract.
try.
They subtract blood. They don't have the physical heft to cut someone in half.
Oh, okay.
We just subtract multiple times. It's mathematically equivalent.
So you go blow up the statue.
I think we do. Did we? Do
Yes.
Not other pathway.
we? Can we get a map
Okay.
reference? Where's the other pathway compared to? Was it like the fork
south
was
of
the
the statue.
statue? Yeah.
How about I put you guys here for a
Oh,
moment?
so we're blowing up a statue that's down here.
Yes.
So
Okay.
this way.
Because
is
the only
where
other,
you came from.
I was gonna just say like the only other statue I knew was
Of
the
ancient
dragon statue in the middle of town, and
Okay.
I'm like, why
For
are
the
we
people
doing that?
For the people that weren't here / passed out drunk, this is where you came from. This is where the Utiag is. By the way, you
Okay.
also have essence of Utiag, which smells just wonderful.
I think I had some of that already, so this is another one.
No, you've only fought one Utiag. So if you added one Utiag, or I added it for you possibly,
You
I
may
think I
have,
might have
because
I
it was
might
there
have.
already. Okay.
Right, you have essence of Utiag. It smells rancid. You can make poison out of that. So this way is to the Utiag. This way is to Chamber of Fireballs. This is a statue of Inagu. And this is the other pathway.
So we should scout to the south prior to setting off our charges.
Sure.
Come along, Paladin.
You did remember that magic did affect the statue. It didn't break. It wasn't warded or anything.
Hello, giant gazelle, cat, demon, hyena, dog. Stupid gnomes and their stupid
Also, obligatory. Oh,
Woof.
It would also have been a straight roll because you have a point of exhaustion. I'll reiterate, all of you are exhausted.
Oh joy.
I will
So
dish. Good.
I was like, exhaustion's -1 skill thing right now?
Uh,
I forget offhand.
Exhaustion
disadvantage
is,
on
first level
abilities.
exhaustion is disadvantage on all ability checks.
So Paladin and Rogue will both lean their heads up against the door and just sort of listen there quietly for a moment.
As you approach this door, the door looks kind of cracked and pushed out a bit from the middle.
Interesting. How very curious. That bears closer examination. Someone should go take a look at that.
As he slowly backs up.
Kenku's going to go take a look at it.
As establishing optimum range.
Roll an investigation check. 18, not bad. Something hard hit this door from the other side. Something either crashed into this or rammed into it.
Interesting.
Which way does the door open?
Do you try the door?
Looking for hinges, indicating which way it might open.
It swings towards you.
Which leads the assumption that it is locked.
It is in fact locked.
A
Or at least the handle won't turn.
snap. Would you like me to set some caltrops down in front of the door before you go ahead and perhaps tinker with that locking mechanism?
Snap just shakes his head, moves back to optimal range for him, and he uses his mage hand and his thieves' tools to try to unlock the door.
Okay. Roll a lockpick check with disadvantage.
21.
One, not bad. You slowly open the door, forcing the tumblers to turn, and you realize it's not locked because there's no resistance to the tumblers.
Mhm.
The door is jammed. The handle is jammed. Nothing's preventing it.
Well, that is unfortunate. Perhaps we could secure some rope to it and get ourselves a bit of a start and yank it open?
What's
Does
the
it-
door made out of?
Wood?
Does it
I
look
guess.
like it's smashed in or smashed
Wood?
out from us?
It looks like it's
towards
smashed towards you guys. So something on the other side of that door impacted and cracked it.
Wooden door, magical axe.
Well, that does seem like
I support the magical axe idea.
yes, that does seem like
It
an
actually
important.
break something.
Snap slowly starts tucking the crowbar he was starting to pull out back into his pack.
By the way, as you move forward, I do wish to comment that Demon Metal and the Magical Axe is my new band name.
Artoria, just roll a strength check.
Also,
disadvantage because or
Yeah, just roll it.
Yep,
Just
yep,
roll be a
Before you
strength check.
roll, I want to
Before I
take
roll.
a ready to action to shoot any monsters that are on the other side of that door.
Okay.
and smash. Maybe. Nope.
Artoria, in your excitement to finally hit something, you just run and shoulder check the door, and now your arm is really sore. And you forgot that you were just recently badly burned.
Ah.
Artoria, perhaps with the axe, like hit with the axe, not run with the axe.
Right. Yep. Okay.
I was just gonna let, if you rolled high, you were just gonna go right through the fucking door.
Okay.
Just
Actual try this
Kool-Aid
time.
Man style.
All right.
Roll an
no.
attack roll with your axe.
Oh.
Luckily, the AC of broken wood is 8.
Yes.
So roll damage on the door. You almost rolled stuff.
Can I put a spell? No. Smite the door.
You cleave the
No.
axe into the broken door. It creaks and splinters as the axe head just goes through it. You turn the blade in and you just start prying and you break the top of the door off and you see that there's rubble. And a very large rock is currently resting against the door.
Ah.
Oh, it's from a collapse.
Well, strangely enough, as you look up at the ceiling, there's no collapse. Something put that there.
Oh, it's not from a collapse.
So
Which
we
means
gotta
something-
remove it.
Which means something lifted a large boulder and put that there.
Maybe we don't find out what put it there actually.
Question: is there an air gap around the boulder
There is a small one.
big enough for wind to fit through?
Big enough for wind to squeeze through.
That'll work. Let's get wind on the other side of that boulder just to see what's up there.
Wind scrapes its way into the open hallway, and it is dark, and it is dusty. Roll an investigation check, Wind.
Which is... question. As a familiar... do familiars gain exhaustion?
I'm gonna say no because they're magical fey creatures.
Yeah, I thought so. You said investigation?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what the fuck is investigation based on?
Intelligence.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay. I gotta roll this manually. Actually, no I don't. I just do an intelligence. 15, not bad.
Doesn't take that much to figure it out. You see a couple of sconces on the wall, holding torches that are long since... The oil on the torches themselves is long since dried away and unusable. You see a heavy coating of dust and debris and small pebbles on the ground that have gone unmoved for... Can't tell how long, but it looks like the last person that came through here shoved a boulder against the doorway and left.
How long does this hallway go for before it branches off?
Further than your dark vision.
Further than 100 feet?
Yes.
Okay. And further than 120 feet, which is what dark vision has.
Yes.
Awesome. So, I'm going to send wind to the maximum distance that I can still maintain the telepathic connection with.
Okay.
To perceive.
As you perceive down, the hallway does not deviate at all. And with each flap of wind's wings, you see a bit of dust from the ground.
And still doesn't deviate all
Nope,
the way out to
straight.
wind's dark vision. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Bring wind back, and then once wind's within 30 feet, just use the actions to poof and repoof.
Okay.
Back underneath my hood.
You also, and I should mention this as you're flying through, you don't see evidence that a boulder was rolled. You would think that the floor would be marred up and scratched, or the walls would be damaged from such a large boulder being rolled, but you don't see any of that either. It makes you
Yeah.
think that the boulder may have just appeared in that location.
This is gonna make me do something stupid.
Do
Might
it.
not have any real results. I'm gonna have wind land on the rock.
And lands, tries to find a place of purchase. lands on it.
I'm going to cast Shocking Grasp through wind.
You see a little bit of spark of electricity zap across where it's standing.
Nothing?
Nope.
Okay.
It's genuine stone. It's
I'm making sure it wasn't a creature made of stone.
Yeah. So Snap,
Proof and reproof.
is you thinking we destroy it? Is that what you was trying to do?
And Snap's just going to kind of wave his hand. Well, wing, feather, deal. No point. Abandoned. As far as I can go.
Oh. Well, it's interesting. Let's see, if this is facing south, and the church is above us, then this must run directly into the ocean. No. Whereabouts would you reckon that this runs to? Church there, around, like towards the Margrave's place.
Let me help a little bit. Compass. Need to remember to add these maps.
If only I had taken the one spell and not the other.
I'll use this because this is good. So the church is. Hold on. I'm trying to orientate myself. Because now I've gotten confused.
I mean, Rogue's pretty beat up at this point. If he's having trouble keeping north and south straight, this can be a later, like he can draw out on a map and like compare it to the map of the town. Be like, Prudence, can you help me with this? I don't know how to use your compass.
Okay.
Blue dot is north.
Yeah. So from your best guess,
That's going
this
west.
would exit out. Sorry, I'm trying to orientate myself to the sea, and I'm remembering that I have to scroll all the way back through my mental maps.
Because I know we came in by the sea through the cave, and in the cave we went through the little place, and then we got shoved down the chute, and that was over this way. So the ocean has to be there somewhere. And then...
So, yes, it would look like this. So, the church is more towards the ocean. Which is the eastern side of Ivandar. And then this tunnel down would seem to run almost parallel to the coastline, and if it continues to go completely straight, it would exit out the other side of the town. It would exit somewhere on the opposite side of town, near the beach. If it goes completely straight.
Interesting.
See, I was like, I should just make the map orientated to how it's going to sit in the world. No, I'll just keep it straight up. I'll remember directions. Never again.
Well, I would say this would make a good smuggling opportunities, but again, we have that church problem above the ground. So,
It's more than just that problem. And okay.
Yeah. So shall we finish demolishing our friend here?
He seems safe enough.
Because what possible concern would there be adding insult to injury to a demonic creature.
You do have a feeling if you were going to piss a demon prince off, you've already done it. You don't think you're gonna piss him off anymore?
You'd think that, but give me a moment.
Is that a challenge?
Hold my beer.
I blast it with guiding bolt.
All right, roll your attack.
Oh, that's
17's pretty good. No, 19's pretty good.
oh
19.
now it asks me what level.
Ah.
Yeah, you impact and it blows a good chunk out of the side of the statue. You break off one of the legs and it starts to and it slams onto the ground. It's not destroyed, it's not dust yet, but you have a feeling someone who's chop happy with their axe might be able to handle that.
Ooh! My turn to dismantle evil things.
Because you've done so well with the door, roll an attack, Artoria.
Oh fuck, that's right, I fucked with my fucking roll 20.
Does Artoria get advantage on this target?
Actually, with only 1 point of disadvantage, or with only 1 point of exhaustion, it's not disadvantage on attacks anyways. It's only...
It's technically prone,
It is
and it's
technically
also
prone.
technically a giant.
Smack.
So you get giant slayer damage.
Yes!
Because it's a big ass statue, and I'm letting this happen because it's funny.
Alright, so
So now we remember what the giant slayer does.
I have it. 2d6. There we go.
You go to swing with the blade, and you go, nah, and you turn it and just start broadsiding with the side of the axe, and just whack, 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 until it is dust and rock and powder and gold. There's
sorry,
something
what
gold
was
in
that?
there.
Yes, wait a second. I spy something sparkly.
Destroy the statue.
Artoria
Everyone's
will
like,
pick
nah,
up the shiny
gold thing.
and hold it for all to see.
You have an eyeball on a chain.
Lovely.
That seems like the sort of thing that should be identified before you go ahead and put that on there, Snap.
It is about maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches in diameter. It is a gold chain. It's a small chain. It looks like it would almost be somewhat akin to a choker, maybe. The eye itself has a red iris that becomes more orange as it goes into a pupil, with a few runes around the outside gold that holds it into the amulet itself. Unmoving, doesn't blink or do anything, but it is an eyeball on a chain.
Okay. Snap's going to look at everybody. Anybody got a pearl?
Hang about a second. No.
Fortunately, I don't carry all the specific.
I think I did see one back in the trading place. Shall we hedge back and acquire you a pearl?
Stares at the artificer.
I feel like we've done identify before.
I also feel like we've
can
done identify before.
I think it's a class feature, not even a spell that they get, but it's just a class feature.
Do I need the pearl?
if you are casting the identify spell, I would think, even if it's just you just have this spell and it doesn't count towards your.
Of course, I closed my thing. Hold on. Let me just double check.
I'm trying to remember because I don't think artificers need the material components to identify things.
I want to say they don't. I don't think so.
You know the spell. It's set. You can cast them as rituals. It says we know the spells. It doesn't say.
Yep, and the
That's it.
spell has a material
You've been
component.
doing it as a ritual spell. That's right.
Okay.
You don't need the pearl to do it ritually. I don't think.
No.
Okay. If that's the case.
You still would technically, but maybe she
I
just
think-
had one.
Yeah, it's still a material component.
Did I?
Didn't you get a ring that had a pearl on it or something?
You also might have had a pearl in part of your back.
Maybe.
It's okay. We've got money. We can buy you 100 GP pearl if we need one. It's not a big deal.
You have like 500 gold in your inventory. Subtract 100 and I'll say you have a pearl.
Okay.
It's a very sneaky sort of voice you have there.
Cool, that works. I did.
Because
Fact
you guys have definitely identified things. I know for fact you've identified things because there's things in Prudence's
Yep.
that only Prudence can see.
Yes. So.
Cool.
You can give me 10 minutes.
Sure. Does you want to do it
Yeah.
down here, or perhaps we could do it while keeping an
We
eye on that
have-
halfling?
I just want to say, I think we have 3 characters with identify.
You guys, if you ever come across a dragon horde or the equivalent of in this world, y'all are going to get through that shit quickly.
I think we should become treasure hunters, guys.
You're already monster hunters.
Yes. Actually,
Yes, but monster treasure hunters.
that's true. Well, I was hoping we could pursue some orichalcum in the near future. I had some ideas regarding a
You
goblet.
realize you could probably get that stuff at everything you've listed. You know you can get it at Dimladar.
Oh yes, that's what I was referring to. Is heading in that direction. But there's a few odds and ends that I would like to pick up along the way, mostly for aesthetics.
Aesthetics, huh?
Yes, I find human and dwarven designs lack in the spikes and teeth department.
I think Artoria was holding the necklace, right?
I had it in my hand, yeah. Nobody. Do we want to? So yeah, I guess I just hand it off to one of the identifiers.
Snap makes the gimme hands.
Okay, here, bird. Don't sell it. Tell me what it does.
Are you identifying it here or in the
No. Later.
later? Okay. How are you crawling? I assume you're crawling through the church.
So from my understanding, well, my poor memory, basically the window in the dude's room kind of opened up onto a street.
It also doesn't open all the way. That's why you couldn't get out.
I thought I got out through his window.
I'm thinking of a different window. I've
Wait,
put a lot
okay.
of windows in this campaign specifically because of you,
Wait a second.
and a lot of thought on how windows work, and now I'm mixing up my windows.
Yeah, because I opened up the window, jumped out, and used the mage hand to relatch it.
Yes.
Wait a second.
There was
We used the heroes. Why is everybody talking about sneakings? We just like strolled out of there like we owns the place.
You also have a feeling that the way the Margrave spoke, they're expecting you to come crawling out of there.
Wasn't
I-
conscious of that part.
I still thinking we strut, crawl things. No strutting? Okay, no strutting. I still
Okay.
gonna strut.
Yeah, I guess we go up the ladder then.
You crawl, all of you crawl up the ladder, and one by one bump your head on the bottom of the bed until one of you moves it. And you do see there's a way to lift the bed slightly, and the bed will lock in position, slightly lifted, and then you can turn it, and it doesn't scratch the floor or anything. And Snap, you're really angry about this because it's really well done.
Can I spend a minute to study the mechanism?
Sure. Roll an investigation check. Actually, this will just be straight intelligence.
Straight intelligence.
15, not bad. Yeah, there's a small latch on two of the posts that is connected to the wall, and as you lift the bed, it locks into place and doesn't keep the bed from falling back down. And then you just move the bed, and it slides along the wall. And then there's just a very simple release that lets the bed drop back into place.
Good. I'm assuming I'd be able to replicate this if I so chose.
If you have the materials to make it, yes.
Cool. Noted.
But you all slowly exit the temple, which is currently empty. There's no one inside, and when you exit, you see two town guard on either side of the door who turn in surprise and then let out a small sigh of relief when they see it's all of you.
Along the way, can I redo my obligatory stealth?
Sure.
She Paladin, they's happy to see you.
Okay, none of you know where Snap is.
Has anybody seen our bird friend?
You're not sure the bird existed. That might have been a mass group hallucination.
Fuck.
I hasn't seen him till he picked up the little eyeball thing. Perhaps it turns him invisible.
Why do I keep giving things to the bird? Every time he gets something, he's gone.
Well, I mean, you had to basically give it to him. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had the bird's eye view.
I hate it so much. Roll a d4.
That
Artoria sits there and doesn't get the pun.
Roll a d4, Rogue. Everyone else takes 3 points of psychic damage.
Oh.
I was just gonna say, like, my head hurts enough, please.
Steph actually enjoyed that joke.
I saw a homebrew rule where, oh god, this would be horrible for me to implement. There's a homebrew rule for puns.
Oh, I would.
New characters, here we go.
Every time
Melee combat, 1 HP.
every time someone makes a pun, everyone else at the party takes 1d4 points of damage. And the person that made the pun gets a 1d4 inspiration die.
I'd need to roll a mute.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you can get inspiration, and you can stack those dice. They can stack. You can have multiple of them, but everyone takes damage every time you do it.
I love it.
Be the end of our party.
Artoria's ears are just bleeding, and she's not sure why.
So, guard fellows, is you having much luck with the undead troubles, or has that resolved itself?
We've been informed to escort you to the Margrave's residence. He said something about congratulations were in order. Please follow us.
Sure, certainly. Would it be at all possible to head to the Margrave's estate via a route which would be able to supply us with perhaps some food and libations?
The Mulgrave said there would be plenty for all. I'm not quite sure what you've done down there, but
Well, I suppose that's fine. He just looks around. He's like, the priest was corrupt anyway, and just grabs the holy wine or whatever and just starts drinking as he goes along. Just like I'm sure they've got some equivalency.
like the church is still active. They just shut it down while you guys were blowing it the fuck up.
It's fine.
There were other priests.
Bro, don't take the holy wine.
It's fine. It's not even wine anyway. It's like who was just Temple 2 again?
Oh, I need to remember the name.
Yeah, apparently he favors sort of a holy brandy.
It's a she, and it's
Was it Joaquin?
Joaquin.
Oh,
yes.
it's
Joaquin.
Joaquin.
I'm like starts with a W. Starts with a W.
Oh, yeah.
The only reason I remember that is because Casey played a cleric of Joaquin.
Can't believe I forgot it then. Joaquin is actually Joaquin's pretty cool. She won't mind.
Joaquin, god of merchants and travelers.
Merchants, travelers, and other things.
Smile.
Here's to you, Joaquin. Glurgle, glurgle. I took care of that troublesome priest of yours. I guess it wouldn't be yours. That troublesome priest infecting. We're gonna need a bard.
It is some strong wine.
Whoosh. Goes right to my toes.
Fast travel, luckily. You're God damn it. I'm seriously considering implementing that pun rule.
No,
Don't you
do
dare.
it. Do it.
Don't you dare.
I
You're
want
not
it
on
done.
riffing, you can't make puns! I'll debate it.
Of all the games, it's my serious character.
I'll debate it more along the way. You're all escorted to the Margraves.
I do have a semi-serious question.
Yeah.
Artoria had a spiked breastplate on her plate armor, yes?
Artoria is the big part of that.
So she's just walking around no top plate on.
Oh,
no
she's
longer
taken
I no
all of
longer
her
have
armor
armor.
off. It
Yeah.
was chewed on.
That armor is literal, like just scrap metal now.
My question is, what is she wearing then?
There's padding and
Ooh.
clothing underneath armor. Otherwise,
You
that
don't just wear the metal.
Yeah,
I
want some metal. That chafing.
I understand that there is a gambeson underneath of it and everything, but I just wanted to make sure that didn't get shredded or fireballed too.
Oh, there's like she'll have to replace that too. There's big holes in it, but the plate mail absorbs the burning.
Gotcha. Just making sure she's not just casually strolling through town buck naked.
God no.
She's also I think she has common clothes.
Yeah. I have something.
Plus, we was just in the priest's bedroom, so I'm sure we could has dressed her up in vestments.
Rustle up a rogue.
Yeah.
So you're all escorted to the Margrave's house. Margrave's keep. House keep. It led through past the familiar golden scaled guards into the large semi-fortress, and you're brought into the office of the Margrave. Ah, there you are. I see by your faces you do not sleep well, so I will avoid the question. Come, sit, and he waves his hands, and there's some chairs and couch that's just set up, along with a couple of trays of fruits cut up and cheeses and loaves of, you can smell garlic and oil soaked bread and wine. It's just set out for you guys.
Bread and
is
cheese
like-
are the only things with sustenance, or like actual like substance there. Artoria, straight for it.
Yeah, Snap's just looking at the cheese like it's the plague.
What?
There's like roasted,
Cares who dislike cheese?
there's like warm, roasted, assorted nuts. This is a full spread. You guys are eating good right now.
Rogue's like built a sandwich about half the height of his head and is working that into his mouth at this point.
You just
Real
Scooby
Scooby-Doo
doing his
situation.
No,
So,
goblins
like,
can unhinge their jaws. Don't you know that?
Oh no! I reject that
I just, in
wholeheartedly.
my brain, I hear the rusty hinge creak as Rogue takes both sides of his head. It just.
It's the same sound as his pistol makes, just like.
Oh God! Oh, that's bad.
Paladins, I feel that he's making fun of us as we set up our spread. He starts at one end of the table, I start at the other end of the table. We start eating towards the middle.
Are there meats?
There are meats. There are various salted, dried meats. There are nice cuts of thin sliced pork and beef.
Give me the
Any
beef.
any long pork?
No.
We could change that. Come here.
There was plenty of that the gnolls were eating.
Well, show your show your graveness. How is you since last night?
I am relieved. The signs of plague amongst my town have slowly vanished. Those who are infected by the demon beast's influence have slowly subsided, returned to normal.
Oh, should days getting better? That's good. A little bit of a shame for those fellas we chopped up, but it's fine.
Those who have transformed, sadly, were never going to be saved.
Oh,
Those who are on the brink, who are starting to show signs, they will be fine.
well, that's wonderful. Not to sound ungracious, for dish fine
He
food.
cuts you off by clapping his hands twice, and two more of those gold-clad soldiers walk in with a small chest.
Well, thank you. I'm sure that your lovely guardians will fill out soon. And I appreciate the treasures.
And he places it on the counter, and you open it up, and it's platinum.
Well,
A lot of platinum.
I suppose it's good for traveling. Not just good for swimming in this copper. But
It, if you look, if anyone wants to count, there's about 12,000 platinum in there.
wait a second.
12,000
No, he said it. He said it. He can't take it back now.
Yoink! Rogue's already running away. Like she can't
on the
stop. Please confirm your math and then repeat.
Nope.
Well, I'm settling into it. I'm retiring on this.
No,
Bye, guys.
I mean what I say. There's about 12,000
Oh,
platinum in the
Jesus.
box.
They're not gonna give us
Snap
the whole
looks
box.
at her.
Are they?
No, Snap looks at the
What is it?
Margrave. What's
You've
the
made me
catch?
the happiest goblin in the world. I accept.
Oh, snap asking the right questions.
Artoria's
catch?
trying to count, but probably can't. Like,
Artoria, you're getting to about 120, 121, just like, and your hands are shaking,
Sweating.
dropping coins, going, this is too much. 10,000 gold was our agreed price, was it not?
Well, I'm willing to renegotiate to that fine chest she has there.
10,000 gold each.
Yes, 10,000 gold each. And that includes Paladin here, yes? and
Prudence.
poor winds, and my left shoe and my right shoe.
Give me some time and I can summon up a fucking familiar too. Give me more money.
That includes both familiars, your precious mount, your missing friend, your new one, and a few other factors that I threw in.
That's quite Your
Hold on, you
graveness. I feel it would. Sorry. What was you gesturing there, Snap?
This is me asking out of character. Both familiars?
Yes.
Fuck yes. Okay.
He knows about the other friend
Yep.
you have.
Okay. Okay.
You've seen, and you know that he has.
Uh huh.
At this point, you can tell he has true sight.
Uh huh.
Your graveness. I feel it would be remiss if I was not to offer the services of my cousin to act as your accountant and financial advisor. He's a specialist in goblin maths, and I believe it would benefit you in negotiations other than this particular one right now.
You do not want to have anything to do with goblin math, trust me right now, Margrave.
Oh, but it's...
It is fine. My family has owned this land for centuries. We are very well giving you this reward. All you have done for me and mine. And he holds his hand, he places it on the chest and gently pushes it closer to you guys.
Yoink!
Oh my. Oh.
Come on, Scoob, let's get out of here.
A firm hand on both. One hand on the bird that likes to disappear, and one hand on the goblin.
No, the bird is just standing there,
Just-
slack-jawed.
I'm just imagining cartoon just jaws all of you on the floor.
Yeah, no, the lower beak of the Kenku is just kind of hanging open, a little strip of beef just hanging out of it, just dumbstruck.
Your
Like,
pocket
not
friend
money
reaches
there.
up, grabs a beef, and disappears back in the back.
Yeah. I suddenly has an opinion about the capital gains tax. Oh.
So y'all can divide that money how you like.
Oh, how? Sorry, you said 12,000 platinum?
2,000 platinum apiece, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just go straight down the middle and then we'll sort out the rest later.
Oh.
Enjoy the rewards for saving a town from a demon prince.
I don't know what to do with this money, and I don't think I'll ever figure it out.
I know exactly what the fuck I'm doing with this money. Let's go
Holy
back to the dwarves. I
To
have.
the dwarves! But first, let's sleep for like a couple of days.
Just one moment there, my fine fellows. Before we go to sleep or before we set out on the road with fantabulous riches, perhaps we should investigate the banking situation. As that seems less high risk.
Y'all need to get a portable hull at this point.
Fuck, we can go buy a portable hole. Why are we doing that already?
We can't just forget about the Margrave, okay?
I just need to point out that one of my favorite things as a DM is handing players a ridiculous sum of money and then going, okay, what do you guys do with it?
Oh,
How
don't
do
get
you
me wrong.
carry-
I know exactly what the fuck I'm doing with it.
Like, I want to be very clear. Isoba right now is like, anytime you need anything, you call on me. I just don't have the brain capacity to roleplay that right now, because that is
Okay.
too much money.
Okay,
And I
so
know I'm stubborn, but I try
No
to
one
be
is ready to be. Let me just explain really quickly. No one is being ready to be handed $200,000 each.
so here's the thing. Each platinum piece is 10 gold.
Mm-hmm.
If we divvy it up according to the proper shares, the Kenku and end up with 3,000 platinum.
Yeah, except we don't know about your pocket friend, so we're getting split down the middle.
Margrave does.
yeah, but we don't. So there you go.
The Margrave continues. Now, before we set you on your way to wherever path may take you.
Oh, we're pretty shit at this point, Miss Grieve.
I have... Do you remember what I said in the cavern? How having...
Not anymore.
One of these artifacts is rare. Having two is fate.
Yes, yeah, I does recall that.
The location of a third is within my realm to give you. He holds his hand out, and as he lifts his palm to the air, a book appears.
Huh.
The Cloak of White Shadow. Said to be the tool of a grand assassin some 600 years ago, before it was lost in what is now known as the deserts of Arath.
Given Snap's background in history, would he know anything about this?
Roll a
book?
history check.
Oh, this is going to be wonderful.
That's not so bad.
And it's technically an 11 because of the exhaustion.
You've
Oh,
never
yes.
heard of anything like that.
I doesn't see a reason that we shouldn't journey to the desert of Arath.
It would require at least, I believe it is 2 weeks of travel to cross the Sapphire Sea.
Oh, it's across the sea.
Yes, you would know Arath is a continent.
Oh, that's right. That's what you humanish folk call that place, Arath.
And what do the goblins call it?
Really far away. We's more of a isolationist.
Very
policy.
literal people.
Yes. There's certain things that we calculate, sums of money, for example. Certain things we don't, distances beyond our borders. But
You're still counting, and you've started to reach numbers that you didn't know existed.
that's what multiplication is for. See,
I'm still hyperventilating.
I has 2 platinum coins, and it has 2 piles of 2 platinum coins, and it has 2 piles of 2 piles of 2 platinum coins, and I has 2 piles of 2 piles of 2 piles of 2 platinum coins, and eventually I will know how many piles of 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 platinum coins I has. It's not only facts, it's factorial.
Going to Arath would require sea transit, or returning to Dimlodar, where I believe you mentioned you were going to return to.
Oh yes, we have some business there. Well, yes, that too.
You also remember that last time you spoke to Margrave, the airship is also...
Son of a bitch.
Airship is also where?
The airship also somewhere in Arath.
Yes. Which is...
You also have... Y'all have a lot you possibly need to be doing, because you also have to get the
tea somewhere.
to the Serpent Isles.
Yes. In pursuing the airship would be beneficial to our arrangement with you, Onu. Wink, wink. That's how you humans do it. You just say the words wink, wink, right?
No.
Oh.
But good on you for trying.
Yeah, there's certain things about humans that just don't make a whole lot of sense.
I could
You're correct.
arrange for you, if you so wish, to have a ship commissioned.
I am sorry, commissioned as in built custom?
Well, you certainly have the coin for it.
Well,
You got us there.
I don't know about spending it on a ship. That seems a little shilly. But perhaps just renting one. As the goal is to have a ship that can fly, so having one that can just float seems a little déclassé.
Repetitive.
Also that.
Scrolling. There it is.
Besides, there's oh wait, hang on. For humans, the primary way to travel by boat from here to Arath is them southern folks that you isn't all that fond of. Is that correct? I seem to remember travel to Arath was mostly done by the southern area, which doesn't get along with the northern area.
Kurithan.
Kurithan.
They're political, some political indifferences, and some not so indifferent. Very different.
And I sure seem to remember certain of members of our esteemed and now quite well-off group does not wish to deal with them, so we just need to have a ship.
How many people are we looking to transport?
20-something?
I believe the count was about 56.
That's more than I remember.
Okay, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, I remember it being about 50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Numbers.
You'll have the money to commission a fucking galleon if you want.
My God,
Yeah.
we do.
I has very
Rivit's
still
just in a
haven't-
different room, pissed.
I has very expensive tastes. While all you commoners may find this to be an overwhelming amount of money, this is very manageable.
He says, slowly picking his jaw off the floor.
Yes,
Very slowly.
500.
Yeah, Prudence is just sitting there, like the tip of her tail is just going back and forth at a mile a minute, and she's thinking, this isn't money, this is a workshop. This is a well-stocked workshop where she can experiment and blow things up and inject shit into other shit just to see what happens.
I'm saying now's the time to go buy that town near the bridge. We just buy it out while the real estate value is depressed.
Which town?
The
mushroom town on the island?
Oh, well, I mean, yes, that one as well. I mean, I'm sure they accept almost any offer. I was thinking of the one a little closer and not yet infected with horrible mushrooms.
I see. How far away is the Serpent Isle?
You get to the Serpent Isle, and you don't know particularly, because none of you are seafaring. You'd have to imagine.
Well,
Paladin starts barking and pawing out the exact answer, but nobody quite understands.
One of you understands, because one of you has a ring.
Who is wearing
Smile.
a ring right now?
I'm not sure which one of you has the ring. I think it might be
I think
Bird
Snap
has his ring.
has it, and he loans it when Artoria needs to train the dog. That's the agreement. I remember this. Yes.
For some reason, Paladin knows for sure it is a week-and-a-half journey to the reefs that protect the chain of islands, and then another few days navigating those reefs.
Okay, that's not gonna work either. Yeah, we're gonna have to build a boat for him.
Yeah, so
Paladin's
Paladin's
like
like,
galleon, and it's only a fifth of what we just made. Roughly.
yeah, Paladin's like, roughly. Wink, wink.
Is that 1d4 psychic damage?
That is, and technically it's Paladin's joke, so Paladin.
Oh, come on. If you say a dog says something roughly, it's already there. So is we, commissioning a small vessel, and, as I mentioned, I does have some, experimental construction that I would like to undertake. If I could borrow your assistance, Prudence?
What are you trying to?
Okay, so let's go out of character for a
Mhm.
second, because y'all now have some options. You can go to Dimlodar, and the Margrave will arrange carriages to bring you back to Dimlodar. You can also get a boat. You can continue on your foot travel around the rest of this part of the continent. Or y'all can
that much money.
go do the various other side quests and hunt monsters that are in this area.
Well, I feel like we should at least attempt the whole thing with the Yanti, because they're like waiting on that.
You do know that the boat will take a while to.
Well, can we buy one that exists?
You can. Either way, they have to send a letter down to the docks of probably Corethan to secure a boat,
Right.
because they don't have one here.
We could have time to go to Dimlodar and back.
In this case, regardless of what choice you have made, you will all have, starting from tomorrow in game, a week of downtime. Which is why I asked you all to make lists.
Right. Have
If
the
Dimlodar
yes,
is
the
the best
list.
place for
Mhm.
Snap to get magic items made, he is going to Dimlodar.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dimlodar is definitely on the list for almost everybody for just equipment purchases and catch up, because there's been a lot of breakage.
Yep.
A lot of breakage. You have a lot of things that you're also under a deal to hand over in exchange for getting access to some of the runic Pensophical, where you would then be able to get some of the items you want. Because remember, you don't have access to the place yet. You're still buying your way in.
And I'm sorry, what was the agreement for that again? It's been forever.
The agreement you all made was that you would go out and hunt monsters as licensed monster hunters, and you would get that license upon completion of this first task. And as you bring them back items, as you bring them back essences, and as you bring them back parts of creatures that you've slain, you would gain more and more access to the runic Pensophical.
Well, fuck, we can just buy the Pensophical entirely.
It's not that much money.
I know, it's not that much. But, like, fuck. We can get our way in.
You
But-
certainly have
But
pieces, and you
we
certainly
have-
have essences,
Mhm.
which they will be interested in, which will start opening doors for you.
We got Split Wolf Goo.
You have Split Wolf Goo, you have Gorgon Goo, you have Gorgon Armor, you have Gorgon Hide, you have Weird Demon Thing, and you have several doses of angry Noldir
True. And Otia Goo.
and Otiad Goo. So you have things.
Many goos.
You also have a couple of items I'm not sure if anyone's holding, and you still haven't identified the new one.
Yeah.
Because the bird took it.
Oh, hey, somebody go buy a pearl real quick.
That's what I was going to say. Is as soon as we're done with the Margrave, Snap is going immediately to the trade district. One, to pick up his +1 studded leather armor that he commissioned.
Mm-hmm.
The bleached white, embossed with feathers.
Okay.
Studded
So-
leather armor +1.
Let's
And
do this. I know you
picking up
have
a
a pearl. I know you guys within your party. Prudence has a pearl. So
Yeah.
let's start the bidding with this.
Sweet. Snap wouldn't have handed it over to Prudence, by the by.
Would have or would not have?
Would not have. That's okay.
So what does your eyeball does there? Does you tell?
Nope.
Snap. Somebody ask Snap in the Elfie language.
I do it.
He's just gonna shake his head and close his eyes.
Yeah.
And, just do his little Kenku smile with the necklace around his neck.
It's a cursed necklace of blindness, and he wants us to tear it off him.
I put on my helmet.
I is not good at charades.
Oh, boy.
Because Isoba don't play no fucking games like that.
Snap, is you okay? Does you need a
Snap nods.
hug?
Are you okay?
Okay, so what does it do?
If Isoba focuses on Snap's thoughts, Snap is still aware of what Isoba's doing, even with his eyes closed. And he's thinking about casting Hideous Laughter on Isoba.
Link
Again.
the spell itself, Isoba.
I gotta dip real quick. My dog is whining at me a ton, which probably means that she really has to go outside, so we'll be back.
Yep.
Okay.
Where's that one foot? There's the button.
Ah shit, wait, that requires attunement.
Yes, it does.
Fuck.
That
That...
Snap, it came from a demon statue, Snap. It's probably not good for you to...
Would Snap have spent the time attuning to it? If it required attunement with what
You
I want
wouldn't
to
have.
do?
The only
No.
person that could have even told you about what it does in this case would have been Prudence. So you wouldn't even know to put it on.
Right. I thought we were skipping ahead in time a little bit.
You're still in the Margrave's office.
Okay.
I paused time to explain what's going to happen out of game.
Okay. So, if we're still in the Margraves, not doing anything with the necklace until he can go and get it identified himself.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought we were skipping ahead a little bit.
Okay. So you all have 7 days to do whatever you all need to do before you have to decide. Yeah, downtime.
7 days to die.
Cause y'all killed a fang.
Shelby, before we all go off and start spending the money, we will need 10,000 of the golds for a ship. Yes.
That is. Hold on. Now I have to go find out. how much ships cost.
A
It's
sailing
10,000 for a sailing ship.
Yeah, sailing
or
ship's
a
10,000.
ship.
A keel boat is 3,000, but that doesn't seem like it would be seaworthy.
No.
Keelboats are small.
Yeah. So I was assuming sailing ship, which is ranked currently at 10,000. So we should each put aside 200 of the platinums for the ship and provisions and crew. He is guessing that 12,000 gold would cover
The
ship,
Margrave
crew, and
will
provisions.
nod at you. Yeah, that will.
Yeah.
The crew. All right. Here's how this is going to work. Just because it'll make this easier for you guys to. If you buy the boat, they're going to order you a boat. They're going to send an order down to Corythan. The ship is going to sail up the coast and come to the docks. And it's going to come with a crew because they are going to hire you a crew. Or you can all choose to work the boat yourselves. You'll still need crew, but you will need less crew.
Question.
answer.
The Yuan-Ti, along with the Medusa.
Mm-hmm.
What was their promised reward for getting them to a place that they were safe?
I thought it was all the stuff we got there.
You got most of your reward was paid in advance.
The big pile of treasure.
So in other words, a pittance compared to what we're going to be spending to get them off.
You also were getting through my notes because I did say that it was more. I just can't remember because it's been fucking months. It has literally been months since you've had that conversation.
I know, which is why I'm asking questions now, refreshing everybody's memory. Because 10,000 gold, well, 12,000 gold.
You also need
Might
that
not be
ship to
worth the
cross
investment.
the sea if you ever want to go.
We can sell it once we get the airship.
Mm-hmm. Or we complicate his life even more in strongholds and follow it up and make it a pirate ship.
You could also just have the ship under your ownership and make money from it. I did not write it down. Either I didn't write it down or there was no additional pay.
Good news, we've got a video we can play back.
Good news, everyone.
Good news.
We'll figure that out later.
Alright, give me a moment.
So, the boat will
Longship
make it
can-
by the end of the week with crew in tow.
So a longship can hold 100 passengers and has 40 crew in addition to the 100 passengers.
Longship big.
Sailing ship, give me a moment.
30 crew, 20 passengers.
Yep, so
Lot of
sailing
cargo.
ship would not work.
Strangely, they cost exactly the same, except it needs more crew to man.
Because one is essentially a passenger ship, the other is a cargo ship.
Yeah.
And I mean, if the only cargo we were carrying were people, as bad as that sounds.
People ain't cargo, mate.
These are Yuan-Ti, they're barely people.
No, nobody
So-
watched the deleted scenes to Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yes, but that begs the question, would a sailing ship suit our purposes if we were not hauling any cargo other than the Yuan-Ti?
No, because you need places for the people to live for that travel.
Which means we would have to get a longship, which means we couldn't really use it for merchant purposes. Because the longship only has 10 tons of cargo capacity.
Only has 10 tons of cargo capacity.
You
For
could
one
also
percent.
make
One of a
mul-
sailing
you could,
ship, same price to
you
100
could
tons
also
of
make
cargo.
multiple trips.
Yeah, but how long would those multiple trips take?
Depends on how good you get at maneuvering your ship through the reef.
So I was thinking, perhaps we could commission a ship and spend a little extra money on it, so we does not have to row the ship. I feel a sailing ship with some converted underdeck space into living quarters would be much preferable to having a bunch of sweaty humanoids rowing.
Yeah, a ship with a sail is a much better alternative to anything else.
Does have a point.
Prudence, you as an artificer could also engineer the ever-loving shit out of the ship.
So I feel our friends would prefer to travel in comfort. So it's some extra time to commission our own ship. would probably be preferential.
Commissioning your own ship and making customization to it
Same, whichever the more sensible reason is.
would mean going to Corethan.
Yeah, I see no problem with that.
How does
that tiefling.
how does you feel about body paint?
Now, Prudence, you know that you're only kind of wanted and only in the
Kind of
capital
wanted.
city.
Which
You've
is
only
exactly
fucked
where
up-
we need to go.
You've only
Oh.
fucked up a little bit, and it only extends to the capital city. You can move within the borders unhindered.
Look,
It's just, you might want to be in disguise if
As-
you go into the capital.
as everyone knows, laws follow the golden rule. Sure, we could just buy our way out of whatever troubles you was having.
You also do remember that there was a price set for this that was impossible for you to get prior to having 20,000 gold.
True. Pay
It
your
was-
own price.
It was like a 500 gold fine that you could not have afforded until now.
The problem solved.
True. True.
What did you do?
Okay, so
Just gonna-
there was this noble girl that was pretty much a giant bitch to me my entire life, and it was her birthday, and I thought I'd give her a birthday present that involved a lot of smoke bombs and lights and telling her parents that we were going to run off and get married and just, causing a bit of fun that she didn't appreciate after all the effort I went through for her.
That does sound like quite a festivity.
I mean, no one died, technically,
Pity.
as far as I'm aware.
There aren't any undead lying around as a result of this catastrophe, would there be?
I don't see how.
Where?
I mean, I was just, different color smokes and getting it all over everyone's clothes and in their food,
Ah,
So you pulled a harmless prank and you got banned in the city.
essentially.
we can buy our way through that.
Riffin sneezes somewhere.
And gets banned in the city?
I was nearly kicked out of Cravash.
Should we, I was thinking that the ship retrofitting should take more time. So perhaps we visit Dimlodar and then Corefinge, and then perhaps back to Dimlodar and then perhaps back to Corefinge with some gathering of spikes and teeth in the middles.
This sounds acceptable.
Yeah.
Don't want to travel around all willy-nilly with this much gold on us.
Yes,
Wow.
It is definitely more than you could fit in the bag of holding, by the way.
get in the bag.
We-
But
The
it's
bag of holding,
all-
which I think has things in it already. This is way
So
over
how
its weight
big is the
capacity.
nest then? Oh wait, yep. Gold and platinum is dense.
And is there a bank? I mean, I know dwarves have a clan that does banking, but is Hanbrook big enough to have a bank that's tied to Dimlodar so we could just carry a writ rather than a womp load of platinum?
Bank is in Dimlodar.
Okay.
They don't have a community branch in Handbrook.
They do, but it's mostly here's your money, not putting money in.
It'd be hard to be, hey, here's a lump sum of $120,000 or 120,000 gold to start a new account.
I mean,
But it's my money and I need it now.
Well, you have it. The problem is
there's a
you
run
have
on
it.
the bank. I mean, I'm all for taking the Margrave up on the carriages offer, scoot to
Yeah.
Dimlodar, spend a bunch of cash, get a possibly condense it down to gems, then head to Corethum, because I don't think the Dimlodar bank would deal with the Corethum banks. I seem to remember they don't get along.
Politically, they have to because they do so much trading.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think
So-
the merchants would care. Merchants would be like, I can get money from both.
So
Money is money.
Corethum is mostly and Prudence will explain this to you, I'm sure. Corethum is mostly a mercantile. Is mostly mercantile, while Dimlodar is imperial.
Fair.
Wait, are we the baddies?
They're not particularly evil dwarves, but they're ruled by monarch.
These dwarves.
So Corethum, whether or not they like the politics that be, whether or not they like Dimlodar, they are forced to trade with them because Dimlodar has things that Corethum cannot get, a la from the ground. And also, they own a lot more farmland than Corethum.
Either way, so it sounds like the general consensus is we're going to Dimlodar first.
Oh yeah.
So
So, carriages!
you have a week to just exist in Evandar while they arrange for transport and safe passage to Dimlodar. Who would like to spend their downtime first?
Isoba wants to go carousing.
And Isoba can go carousing.
Isoba, roll me 3 Constitution saving throws. Jesus. Those 2 nat ones, man.
Wait,
All
we
right.
sleep, right? So we get the exhaustion off, right?
Yeah, you.
Okay.
You sleep the week starts the next day following. So the exhaustion is gone.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
So Isoba's just going on a bender. Let's make
No,
sure.
Isoba is not going wild. Isoba is greasing the social palms.
Okay,
He's
that's
meeting
different than
people.
what I thought you were doing. Okay.
I'm not just getting drunk every night. I am socializing. I'm making the connections.
Okay.
Attempting to make the connection.
Okay. Instead of the Constitution saves, I had a whole different idea of.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Isoba's drinking. He's just not blacking out at the end of the night.
Yeah, I thought when you were talking in the Discord, you're like, Isoba's gonna get fucking hammered every night. Roll me some just straight charisma checks. Roll me 3 charisma checks, and this will show how well you've done. Oh Jesus, okay, okay.
I choked
Sure.
there for a second.
Just wow. Okay, save some of those 1s and 20s for everyone else.
Never. No middle sliders.
So you do you spend your week going to the various hotspots of Evandar, or bringing people to you. You do learn that while not being under siege by demons, this is a rather busy city for its size. a lot of material comes through. You meet a few. You meet 3 merchants in particular. You meet 2 from Arath, and you meet 1 from Corethan. The 2 Arathi merchants talk to you about how silver trade is starting to falter, and they're not sure why, but all of the mines that are on the continent seem to be drying up. And it's a bit worrying because a lot of their outward trade comes from those mines. Importantly, you find out things, cultural things. Water is a commodity there, is a traded, sold, purchased commodity. Something that is just available. Food is also more expensive there, just because of the landscape. And you learn that there is a current rebellion against the capital city, whose name I can't remember at the moment. I haven't remade the map. Apparently, there is an uprising against the Sultanate for the overtaxation of water. You also, one night, you spend drinking with the hag's owner, the halfling, and he tells you a story about his grandfather that opened the place. And apparently his grandfather was kind of like all of you. He was a halfling bard who traveled around with a group of adventurers, saving the day and heroing as well as skirt chasing. He says with a bit of pain to his pride. Is there anything you'd like to, other than that, find out specifically from your nights chatting people up?
From the merchants from the other continent.
Mhm.
I want to know how far inland the desert is.
They kind of laugh until they realize you've never been there, and they explain to you that desert doesn't end. The whole continent is one big desert.
Ah.
There are many oases within, and most of those are built to have towns or cities built in them. And I'm gonna roll a history check. One of them doesn't know. The other one makes a mention of that the way back before the dragons all vanished, Irath wasn't always a desert, but when the dragons died, the continent, in very quick order, in the next 10 years prior, dried and turned into what it is now.
Interesting.
They also make a mention that there's one place in the entire continent that is not completely either rock or canyon or desert, and that is at the very north. There is the Grand Majus College, and that is one of the only places outside of an oasis where you can find like grass, like green, normal grass. But there hasn't been a lot of communication with it recently.
I'm sorry, repeat that last bit.
There hasn't been a lot of communications with that school recently. They're not sure why, but they have no reason to investigate. Anything else you'd like to do in your 7 days?
What's the spell scroll situation looking like?
So you can go to.
Because I officially have a list of spell scrolls that I want to buy.
So you can go to. Of person name. Had her fucking shop written down. Can't find it. Carries Kuros, and she does sell spell scrolls.
She sells spell scrolls by the seashore?
Yes. Which is funny because you can actually see her shop. Yes, she sells scrolls.
Okay. I am messaging you a list.
Okay. I will tell you if she has them. That
There
may
are
be
a
good for
few-
anyone who's looking for spell scrolls to message me a list of things.
This is
Oh dear.
this is very specifically the ones that are not on the wizard spell list.
Okay. I will look those up and I will let you know.
Yeah. Take your time. And I will also like this same list when we get to Dimlo Dar.
Okay, that's gonna be easier to find.
Cool.
Who wants to go next? Rogue, thank you for volunteering.
Oh, sure. No problems. I was just thinking about volunteering. I'd like to do a couple of things. First, I would like to reconnoiter what is going on in and about the towns of Rivercross, or the encampments to the north.
Okay, so you inquire about military movements?
Inquire about the military movements, and potentially that's like a day's well-defended, easy amble kind of trip, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So day and a half. So at one of the times when a supply caravan is going up and down, travel with them in company just to lay eyes on what's all going on. Like, have there been incursions happening? Is it just
I
watch
will
and
say
wait?
that the next transport is coming near the end of your week.
Okay. But he just wants to put eyes on the situation. But prior to that,
roll a perception check. A persuasion check and a perception check.
a persuasion.
The first
check.
one is to try to hop along with the caravan.
Oh, come along, Cassidy. Nope.
You're hard pressed to find a military transport that is going north that is willing to take you along.
This is racist. Speciesist. One of them. Bummer. Okay.
If you'd like to go yourself,
No, he won't.
There's a chance for danger.
He will not wander alone into a war zone. He wants to get his military opinion updated. But if
you have a suspicion that because transports are still going up there and they don't seem to be in as much a hurry as they don't want to take civilians with them. That no news is good news.
Well, I is a general, but that's fine. Other than that, just make contact with other goblins who may be in the area just to check in. I know that there weren't a bunch around, but I do have a spy contact, I think, who's down in the southern area down near Carethan. But just whoever happens to be in and about the area, just like, hey, I got money now. Just let you know.
You're hard pressed to find any goblins in this area. Only because of how
stinking elves.
It's really more the location near Rivercross.
Stinking river.
So heavily guarded, especially on the side.
and then the rest of the time is spent planning the gublance.
Okay. Roll a tinkerer's check for me with, I'll say roll 2 tinker's checks with intelligence as the modifier.
Prudence, could I have your assistance in this endeavor?
Now, what is this again?
Well, you see, I has the idea of taking this modification that I has made to the bad news and installing it into this lance that I has modified, and he's got a small model of, if he drills out a lance and he attaches the bad news to the end, he's got a lance with a gun. It's a gub lance, and you can fire it or you can stab with it. You can't do both, but that's the concept. And so I was hoping to build a model, a working model, and I managed to modify several bullets, and he goes bang, and like, you know, something falls off over there, like a cat screams and runs away. He's like, and I just need some assistance bringing this into specifications that dwarves can understand with their limited grasp of understandings.
I think we could figure something out.
I will say that this will take you guys a day, so this will be one day if you're as well, Prudence.
Yay!
So, one of you roll a tinkering check with intelligence as the modifier, and one of you roll a tinker's check with dexterity as the modifier.
I'll try the dexterity, please.
So I'll do the intelligence one. Let me switch it.
12s.
Intelligence. It
Oh,
was
no.
not meant to be.
Well, that's still an 11. It's still higher than mine would have been.
Prudence, you're more of a gadget maker.
Not a weapon year.
You're not really a firearm designer. You've dabbled in the idea of magic firearms. Not really your specialty.
She has a flamethrower. It's not really the same.
And combining martial pokey weapons and martial hyper powered arm cannons. Not really. You're finding a hard time finding a way to make the gun function as a gun, and also make sure that if it stabs someone, it doesn't just bend.
No, you see, that's why you use extra gunpowder. It reinforces it.
Rogue, your model keeps just breaking.
Yep, he'll keep trying until he gets it.
You keep. There's something wrong with your format of how you're trying to go about this, and you can't come up with why, because you're taking the model gun you made and you're just slapping it together with the lance, and they're supposed to just go together, and they're not.
Obviously, I need some sovereign glue.
Is there anything else you would like to do?
No, that's it. He's on gun design duty at this point. He's not. He'll save the big shopping trip till Demlodar.
Who wants to go next?
I think the main thing that Prudence wants to do is a bunch of research. As much on the stuff she was reading in the book that she got from her mentor, and just in general about like the whole era, like as much as I don't know how much information there is about the era when dragons were still doing the do and their magic and
Your best bet is to go speak to the Margrave and see if you can go into his collection of books. The team seems to be dragon affiliated.
yes.
Roll an investigation check.
Hold on. Investigation.
As a note, Snap has not let in on the Margrave's extra bit.
Yep. Okay. Without doing too much of just a straight lore dump. And I will DM you stuff as you ask me.
Okay.
If you want to ask me specific questions, but
Well, she's
before-
mostly trying to find any connection, like anything that could lead to what her mentor was talking about.
So you do find reference to, in one of the books, you do find reference to something called a Dragonstone. Singular. Your mentor's book had it listed as multiples.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple times in his book, he would mention that there are, very specifically, dragon stones, plural, or mentioning that there are multiple. This, in his book, mentions that there was a dragon stone, singular, that rested at the highest peak of the conclave of metallic dragons that lived within the mountains way up north, that watched over a culture of dragonborn. You also find out that when the dragons all died off, that the entrance to said culture seemingly closed completely. No one could find it afterwards. And so no one has been able to either find the dragon stone or that civilization. And they have searched extensively.
And where in general was that, you said?
North. So highest point of north. So northern Belden.
Cool.
The 19. You do find another book that, it's just as you're leaving, it's your last book you're flipping through, and you do find reference. It's more of a journal rather than a text, and it seems to be in the marker's handwriting, mentioning that someone spotted a creature that resembled a dragon off in the forests of Varad. And then underneath that he says, rumors unconfirmed.
No listing of color, just looks like dragon, possibly.
It looks like the Margrave had caught wind of a rumor that someone saw a dragonoid flying creature, and that was all the rumor was.
What was the forest? Farad?
Varad. That is the
Varad.
continent of Varad.
Okay.
Varad.
Cool.
Anything else you'd like to have done?
She's likely gonna work on some schematics. Is there... I don't know, like... Would there be, like, schematics available to peruse places? Where they are? Or would that be more... Dwarf?
That'd be more Dwarf or probably Corethan.
Okay. She will,
there isn't really
be-
a town engineer.
working on, her own... Because she gets another, upgrade, so she's gonna be building some stuff.
Okay.
Getting new armor.
And I will assume that anyone who needs
Actually,
it
I think she had magic armor.
You have magic armor.
Yes, so never mind.
I assume that everyone is replacing their gear.
Yes. Scale mail of lightning.
Oh, hell yeah.
So whatever the cost of your either armor or clothing or robes or what have you, just mark that down as you replace them. Artoria or Anu?
I'm currently trying to find my list that I sent you that I wanted to do. Got it. So what I would like to do is, and we're in Dimlodar, correct?
You are still in Evan.
Okay. Well then, I would like to visit their library if they have one. And do they have an Arcana shop or no?
There's the Kira shop that sells all sorts of magical bits and bobs. There is no library. There is a bookstore, and there is a secondhand shop you can always search in.
Does the church not have a scholarly library?
Not this one. A knowledge domain clergy.
Okay, so then I will go to the blacksmith or the Fletcher and try and acquire small scraps of metal and arrowheads.
Okay. Easy enough. How many do you want?
10 of each.
I assume this is for your lightning arrow catapult spell.
Yes.
Oh hey, is you planning on using them for flingings and stuff?
That is the hope.
You know, I've been making a study recently of certain metals, and I has found that there is some that is particularly good at such things. You may wish to avail yourself of either some obsidian or perhaps some of the even fancier minerals. They could assist you greatly if you wish to be flinging them around.
I will say that what you're getting is equivalent to darts, so 20 darts, 5 copper each. Math, 100. Just mark down a gold, and you have 20 darts.
Okay. And how many ball bearings?
Ball bearings come in bag of 1,000 for a gold. So congratulations, you're now the proud owner of a fuck ton of ball bearings.
Okay. Can I specify the weight of said ball bearings? Because with catapult, the heavier the item, the more fun it is. Can these be like second tier heaviness ball bearings?
Don't know.
Let me see.
They're just kind of your standard ball bearings.
Yeah, can they be like 6-pound ball bearings?
What?
Those are not
Those
ball
are bowling
bearings.
balls.
Or
Yeah, no, you
5
can't.
Those are like,
6-pound
you need
ball
like a
bearings?
shot put.
Well,
Yeah, 6
I-
pounds is too heavy.
Yeah.
I said I only wanted 10, not 1,000 of them.
By 10 cannonballs?
I'll put it to you this way. Artoria's great axe weighs 6 pounds.
Okay. Can I have 5?
You're looking at probably 100 gold, 150 gold worth of metal.
What? Hang on.
You're
Buy
asking
like
for
a couple chairs.
you're asking for a lot of just material being crafted into balls.
I just asked for scraps.
So a bag of ball bearings, the one bag weighs 2 pounds. So if you buy 3 bags of ball bearings and just wrap them up with leather, you now
Just launch
have
the bag.
You now have a 6-pound bag. So I mean, if what you're after is just an object that weighs 6 pounds, you can buy 3 bags of ball bearings and have a 6-pound object.
Yeah, metal doesn't. You don't get 6-pound chunks of scrap. Though that's good usable metal.
Yep.
Right. I wasn't asking for 6 pounds of scrap. I was just asking for scrap. Whatever you would be willing to give me. I'll take the ball bearings. We'll make it easy.
Catapult a bag of ball bearings. Does it function like a
Yeah.
shotgun?
That's
No.
along the lines of what I was thinking. No, not a shotgun, but catapult a bag of ball bearings. It explodes on impact, causing difficult terrain around the thing.
Oh yeah, that's possible.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you could buy like 20 bags of ball bearings for 20 uses of that spell.
I will say they have 5 ball bearings because that's a lot of ball bearing bags.
That's it. I'll wait for Dimlodar for the other stuff.
Okay. And Artoria,
All right.
who's prepared, I'm sure.
There's something longer that I'm trying to work about. Okay, so the first thing she wants to do, right? They're dealing with a demon. She doesn't like demons. It's bad. She's gonna, with her
Yeah.
incredible intelligence score, try and do. I mean, like they know a bit about him, obviously, from the other research they've done. She wants to try and do some more and like specifically talk with the Margrave, like maybe what he knows.
Okay. Roll
What?
a. Sorry, I have to yawn.
See if she can find out anything more. Like,
Roll
is the threat totally
a.
gone?
I will say roll a persuasion check. And an investigation check. Hey, not bad. What specifically about demons are you looking
I guess she'll ask a little bit more specifically about the priest and if there were any people who like really looked up to him, sort of thing. Like, there are more people in this town they have to worry about. Any who closely followed him, yes.
just
And
peruse over to my notes on the priest. There we go. The Margrave takes a moment. Sadly, I did not realize that Orthric was of his nature. He has been in this city for many, many years. I believe it's now the better part of 2 decades. I have known the man to be quite a righteous one, a stout follower of Keen. And he had many followers, many worshippers every time he gave sermon at the temple. With so many merchants and traders that move through this town, many would stop, wishing for blessings upon their journeys. So I could not say if any one person follows him more particularly than others. Although I do not believe we are in danger of any more cultists of his particular
Caliber.
madness. My fear is that it was not his own faith that drove him to become what he was, but the maddening howls of the demon prince of which he worshipped.
Right. Well, as long as there's no worry about others.
Oh, do not mistake this. There will be more worries. This was a demon prince reaching out for land that he could not take at the north. more will try to take land south of that bridge. Create a death trap for those defending. But it will take some time before the Prince of Madness, Hunger, can rise back up with a new champion. So you have stifled their efforts for the time being.
That is good. For now. But also very concerning.
Knowing who it was aids greatly in fighting him. Knowing that the madness was not a sickness drawn of the blood, but of the mind from he who created the gnolls, makes him far more easy to counter. Though vicious, the demons are sometimes predictable in their chaos. Inagu will always hunger, is what he does. Do you have any other questions, Herald of Ravens?
No, thank you for your time. Just wanted to make sure that we weren't being lulled into a potential false sense of safety. No.
Don't worry.
That there were no more here.
You have done great things for the city and protected it. Thus, rest well. And you see his eyes flash over, and you realize you never divulged to him who your patron is.
It'll take a minute to processes, and she'll just squint at him. How did you?
I've noticed there's a raven following you when you walk.
She will turn around and look for a physical raven.
You
There's
see
roll
Snap standing behind you.
roll a perception check. You turn around. There is no raven.
Snap is standing there though.
Snap, what? He's not a raven. I don't think. Snap, are you a raven?
Just staring at you.
But he'll come back confused.
You feel something tick against your shoulder suddenly, Artoria.
I look to my shoulder.
There's a raven sitting on your shoulder.
There's a raven sitting on my shoulder.
Its name is Paul.
She'll just kind of look at it like, hi. Ow. My ear. And
It flies off. Down the hallway. Out of sight.
yeah, she'll turn back to the Margrave like, how did you know that would happen?
They just smile at you.
The Divine are so strange. So enigmatic. Yeah, that's a big word. Artoria wouldn't know that.
So
and
we're
she'll
gonna start
smile
with
while
E.
saying that. Yeah. Just, it's so weird. Nah. And she'll thank the Margrave for his time and be ready to head out. Unless he has anything else to say.
No, he lets you go. Snap, are you there for a reason or just fuck with Artoria?
Just to fuck with Artoria.
As you're walking out, you hear more fluttering as the doors close, and you turn around just to see that raven is back in the room and is perched on the Margrave's finger.
Wait a minute.
And you can see it's almost like you can't hear him speaking because he's whispering. You swear you see him talking.
Gonna try and focus, and does she sense that like thread that was drawing her to the like other place?
Roll a religion check.
Oh, I'm negative in those. Woohoo!
Did it not load a roll?
It was an 8.
It was an 8. You focus and you do feel an essence of your patron in the room as the door closes. And then cuts off.
Yeah, well. Her goddess will do as she pleases, and she will continue on with her day, feeling enlightened that she was graced.
Does anyone else have anything to do before the carriages are take
Artoria does have one more thing she wants to do.
you? Okay.
She is going to write a letter, like still like on that first day after talking with the Margrave or something, so it makes sense before she leaves that she's sending a letter.
Okay.
And it's going to be a letter to Melina, and it's going to be like in real casual and friendly tones, just kind of as a like catching up, like hey, how you been? How are the dwarves been treating you?
If you
Sort of
want to
thing.
DM me a letter during the week,
Yeah.
I will have a response to that, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, something happens when you're walking back to the tavern one night.
Okay.
You run into someone near the docks, actually.
Like run straight into them, fall down.
No, cross paths with them. And you don't recognize them. Can't remember their face. What? Recognize the symbol on their... Is a handprint.
Symbol on their what?
Symbol on their armor. It's a handprint. But on the... Instead of having fingernails, there is a claw on the index, middle, and ring finger. So the thumb and the pinky look normal. There are claws on the middle 3. And as you're staring at them, looking at, trying to figure out why this is familiar to you, the person turns to you. Well, I'll be damned. Tori, is that you?
Maybe who's asking?
Dravis. I hoped you take care of that water hag. You have no idea who this is.
Yeah, I know.
You cannot remember it. As you're trying to think, you can remember their armor. You can remember the weapon they used. It was glowing. It was flaming. They did something to it. It caused the weapon to ignite the flame. Their face is shrouded in a... Remember.
You'll just kind of like squint her eyes, be like, no, sorry, who are you?
Dravis Maten.
I,
And he kind of squints at you, and you can see this maybe mid-30s, short, cropped, brown hair, buzzed off to the sides, two scars running in parallel down the right eye, the closer one just touching his lip. Another scar runs across his cheek, over his nose, and over to the other cheek. He's got what looks to be a puncture wound on the left center of his forehead, and you can see two small, healed over, scarred, pierced holes on the left side of his neck.
Sorry, do I know you? You
You
seem familiar, but I don't know.
You really don't remember? You know, they said that something happened to your memory. You started forgetting things. Weird. Well, I'm part of an order of hunters, the Blood's Oath. Back in your home, abroad. We came to their town. You were requesting aid with some water hags that have taken over the lake that the town sat against. Gave some of our newcomers quite a scare when we saw the state of your guardsmen. You helped to ease into the concept. You really don't remember?
just kind of shake her head and have like a sad look. Like, no, I don't really remember anything a couple months ago.
Yeah, I wish I could stay around. Lots happening over there, Artoria. Lots happening. Creatures that shouldn't be moving this rapidly are moving. Villagers are starting to die. They're making our way due east, pick up some more silver. Wrath before it all goes to shit. Lycans, vampires, undead are roaming. Damn drow popping at the ground everywhere.
Kind of clenches her fists at the undead mentioning.
No, not yours, mind you. Your town is safe, for the most part. Your leaders give the Roman werewolf quite the hell. I'll tell you that much. Everywhere else seems to be falling right apart. Look, I gotta go, but
Hold on. You can't just leave me with all these questions.
he looks back towards one of the towards one of the ships. All right. I got a little time.
So how you have you been there recently? I haven't. I don't even know what's going on there anymore.
Lothar and Gaeliard doings. And you remember those two are the Stitcher and the Caller, the leaders of your town.
Mm.
Everyone seems safe. Then again, your town was never one messed with. It's all
Never
the
one
other
to be
border
known.
towns around.
Oh, okay, well, if they're healthy and safe, that's good. But what about how long have you? When did you know me?
Oh, must have been a year back, maybe? No, longer than that. 2 years.
So you know more about my past than I do. What do you know about me? I guess it's a weird question, but I really don't remember.
You were the only breathing god. I remember that. Which was they didn't tell us about your town when we went there. Which I'm sure was some joke they thought they were playing on us. You were kind, angry. Then you were raving about these hags that entered your lake. Demanded they be put to the sword post haste, and well, we had to hold you back because you tried to run in yourself.
But that's all you. That's when you met me. I was at that town.
Yeah, you were guarding the damn front gate.
Right. Okay.
You and the person, and he kind of gives you a look like, yeah, person, that's right, they're people.
Yeah, she'll just glare at him and like, yes.
The person with the one arm. You and him are standing guard.
It was Timothy.
Right, Timothy.
Okay, that pieces that much together. Yeah, thank you. Just Drevis?
Javis.
Drevis.
He offers his hand to you, and you can see his hand is. You'll have matching burn scars. As his hand from the back of the palm all the way up the arm has horrible burn scar that is healed up. You can also see on the inner arm, on the palm, on the all the way up the bicep, along the right side of his neck, and probably continuing all the way down that side of his body, are just cut marks. Just very precisely placed, healed over cuts in his skin. Some of them are running perfectly straight, some a little diagonal, but it seems like they're just. He's, for some off reason, has drawn a blade across his skin.
And in character, or what did he say the name of his order? Forget.
Blood's Oath.
Blood's Oath.
Roll
do you have
an
any idea who they are?
intelligence check.
And
Aha!
just roll a 0 on the fucking ability
You
check.
do not remember, fortunately. You do not. The name sounds so familiar, but do not know why.
Okay. out of character. He's totally of. Why can't I remember the name of them anymore?
Bloodhunter.
Bloodhunter, yeah, those.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So she'll just kind of still have a general confused look, but kind of be slowly nodding her head, like, okay. Thank you, Jeeves, for talking with me. If you're ever around in Dimlodar, ask for me, I guess.
We're gonna have you heading back as soon as we pick up the shipment from Arath. Look, you may want to head home. Like, soon.
But from what you said, it sounded okay. On, for lack of a better word, a mission, I guess. Right now.
It's okay because of who's in. That's changing. You may want to head home soon. And he shakes your hand firmly and starts to turn. And you can see that the look of trying to help you through whatever you're going, that look that he had has faded, and now there's just the dark shadow over his face as he thinks of that continent.
Hmm. Yes, Artoria will head back to the tavern and just kind of drink and
Artoria
think,
drink.
which she's not good at.
Roll another intelligence check. Okay, you drink and you think. Anyone else have anything?
Nothing
only
from me.
Yep, the only thing Snap has to do in town is go pick up his +1 studded leather armor.
Okay, you pick it up. It is enchanted. It is +1. It is studded.
Yep. Everything else is in Dimlodar.
So eventually you are brought back to the Margrave's Keep, and you are presented with two lovely carriages, horse-drawn, with jockeys at the front.
Boy, is a very nice carriage. Come along, Paladin. No, you get to ride in the carriage this time.
Being heroes really has its benefits, doesn't it?
Yes, they're temporary. Villains actually has more of the staying power as far as the benefits go.
Smack to the back of the head.
But then you're like
How?
harassed by heroes all the time. Like, you never get any rest. At least we could just like chill for a while if we want.
I suppose.
Look at that demon guy. He was a villain and thought it was going to go all well for him. Bada bing, bada boom, we killed him.
I suppose, but up until that time, he was living large. I mean, look how big he got.
For all of those 20 seconds. 30, multiple of 6. Yep.
I like to think that was in character.
Artoria breaking the fourth wall real quick. Just
Artoria just
acknowledging
brain
that.
blast. Artoria has a brain blast and realizes math. Just having a beautiful minds moment where all the numbers are flashing in front of her face. You get in the carriages, you are loaded up. You have your chest of gold. And you're actually start northward. Seems you're going to take the most direct path, Dimladar. Around the forest and towards the continent itself.
So the second most direct path to Dimladar.
Well,
the most direct a carriage can take.
Correct.
yeah, carriage moving through city, not so great.
You mean through forest?
Through forest.
No, you're going,
Deadly snake person infested forest.
Hey, it's no longer deadly or snake fest.
Oh, it's
Oh,
still
no,
deadly.
it's still deadly.
And snake infested.
It's still technically snake infested. No, you're going this way.
Sorry, snake person inhabited.
You're going this way,
Thank you.
then
And we sent them some extra gorgons.
What's your fucking pronouns, Ben? God.
Sent them a few extra bowls.
so it's more deadly to anyone that's not you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this does take you around. Well, it doesn't take you on the path directly through the military encampment. You can see it in the distance. And it's unchanged, you think? Well, roll a perception check.
I can do that. I can do that.
Wow.
They have made absolutely no headway. Getting across the bridge.
These mushrooms.
There's more of a guarding presence
Mhm.
than there seems to be a pushing presence. You can see in the far off distance there are like one troop of soldiers on one side of the bridge, one troop of soldiers on the other side of the bridge, and anything that tries to cross the bridge has to cross between the two of them, and they'll make a murder sandwich out of it.
Oh, but there is an opposing force. There is like a demonic force on the other side.
As you're riding past, you do see one of those horrible mushroom people come stumbling out, and they get about 40 feet from all of the dwarven soldiers and are turned into a porcupine with the amount of javelins that just impact.
Oh, that is troublesome.
Cool.
Like, you see mushroom person, and then you see mushroom person made of metal. Oh no, wait, that's just 12 javelins sticking out of it.
That's probably for the best.
And then they wait for the spores to go away, and they collect their javelins, and they reform the line of javelins.
Efficient. Yep.
You also see, 2 ballista and a trebuchet have been set up.
r/trebuchet memes.
It is a superior form of combat. Someone dropped a thing.
There they triggered a little trebuchet.
And they are aimed across the bridge.
Mhm.
And it seems like they, at this point, from what you can gather based on your military background, they are just getting ready for shit to break through that wall of darkness.
Gotcha. They're doing a fair job. They're missing out on certain tactics which we goblins has optimized. Certain traps and tricks. And also, I don't understand why they has left that bridge intact. But it will help for a counterattack later.
But you ride past it, staying clear of that battlefield, taking a path that does not take you.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to end the session there. And next session we will start in Dimladar.
Sounds good. Do you want us to hit you up with the shopping lists off screen, or?
Yes, let's throw shopping lists. We will do any roleplay that needs to be done will be done on stream next week. And then y'all can figure out what you want to do from there.
Sounds good. Thank you for.
Save your magic items for in-game. Any mundane things will do off-screen.
Do you consider
Okay.
mithril armor mundane or magic?
Magic.
Okay.
This will be a very quiet 2 weeks from me then. 'Cause all I
Yep.
want to buy is magic stuff.
Yep.
I mean, most of my
All I
stuff.
want to buy is magic stuff.
Well, to get the magic
Wonder
stuff,
wants
you need
to
to do some
make-
roleplay with the dwarves. So
Make the magic stuff.
Oh, kinky.
you could
Hmm.
also start having Prudence make the magic stuff.
Make the magic.
While a gadget smith, you are still an artificer and therefore capable of
Yep.
enchanting.
And Ash will make my weapons.
So we will pick up there in 2 weeks.
Yay!
Woo!
Not the most exciting session. I'm very sorry.
It was
Well,
fun though.
exciting when we obtained fucking ungodly amounts of wealth.
On that note, good night, Twitch stream.
Night.
See ya.
Uh,